Sure that our young people and people all across the state of Arizona get out and vote so that we're putting people in office who are going to bring about change that's going to make our community safer.
I think you mentioned it already, but what are you going to do in the meantime? Because that's 6 months from now when this next session starts. What's going to be done in the meantime to help address the school safety issues people are returning to school this week?
Well, we're going to continue to work with school boards and different individuals in the community as we have, as well as continue to fight and try and get a meeting with Governor Ducey and other members of this compound that can really bring about change. And until that happens, we're not going to stop.
So this is kind of follow me here. Have you heard about the man who was arrested in New Mexico at this compound?
Just today.
Training, or allegedly training people, little kids, for school shootings. I'm just curious about your reactions.
It's disgusting. New Mexico is one state away. This could happen anywhere, and this is just the first case that they've found out. We need to ensure that we're not only implementing gun safety reform, but that we provide mental health assistance to people that need it. No one is gonna, in the right mind, seek out training on how to commit such an atrocious act of violence. We believe strongly in implementing proper funding, restoring funding to our school counselors to prevent something like that from happening here.
Can you believe we kind of live in a world where somebody is training kids to do this?
It's disgusting. There's nothing else to say. That it's just truly disgusting and a sad representation of the world that we're living in right now. And us students have to go to school every single day knowing that there's people like that out there right now.
On a somewhat related topic, I'd like you to weigh in on the idea about the 3D gun making for planting down. As you know, the blueprints are out there, so the risk is still there. Just your thoughts on that.
The crisis of 3D printed weapons is a truly disgusting matter that we're all astonished that this has not been addressed, because the idea that anybody in America and really in the world that can 3D print a weapon without the government knowing, without proper agencies knowing, without your own neighbors knowing is alarming. 3D printed guns can go through TSA, they can go through metal detectors in schools and in airports and in the workplace. 3D printed guns are genuinely untraceable, and untraceable guns are dangerous. And so we are absolutely astonished that no action has been taken so far in the federal government, and we even hope that our own Attorney General will join in certain lawsuits to make sure that 3D printed guns are not getting out to the public, because that is genuinely a public health crisis.
Let me talk about another topic that just came to mind right now. The NRA says it's now financially hurting. I'd like your reflections on that, and how much of an impact have your movement, do you feel that your movement may have had something to do with that?
I think that this movement has genuinely been the catalyst for their financial troubles. Young people across the entire country have forced companies to withdraw their donations, to withdraw the deals they give the NRA members, and to withdraw public support from the NRA. The NRA fronts itself as an advocate of gun owners, yet the majority of gun owners support background checks. The majority of gun owners support many of the measures that we're calling for, yet the NRA refuses to come to the table while lobbying with politicians that they buy behind the backs to make sure that these legislations that their own members, quite often or not, are supporting aren't passing. And so therefore, what we have been calling out is genuinely the cause of their financial discourse.
So you think that they're not just making something up, that they really are in distress and they aren't lying?
We certainly kind of hope so.
I'll go ahead and read it to you guys, and if you want to take pictures before we head up or as we head up, we can do that. The letter says, Dear Governor Ducey, we find it safe to assume you simply do not care about the next generation of Americans. Your lack of legislative action has left every child in Arizona susceptible to inevitable gun violence. Aside from your failure to enact policy, you have refused to even acknowledge March for Our Lives Arizona in the past 6 months. We, as your constituents, would like to remind you that your job entails the title of public servant. Governor, you don't work for the NRA or the corrupt lobbyists' money. You work for us. Considering your position as governor, March for Our Lives would like to formally invite you to the Governor's Town Hall next Tuesday, August 14th at 6 p.m. This is your final opportunity to show some semblance of character before the midterms. And while we generally hope that you're to attend, we're not naive. History is bound to repeat itself, and we're not uninformed of previous events. 50 students occupied your office, and you had a meet and greet with a pro wrestler. 25,000 people marched on the Capitol, and you stood silent. 200 students died on your property, and you schmoozed with groups publicly harassing us. 8 students and 2 teachers were killed in Santa Fe, and you refused our pleas for a special session to simply discuss change. While your ignorance may be bliss in the confines of the executive tower, millions of lives are returning to higher risk this week. Kids are going back to school. You know our platform, and you've heard our pleas. Governor Ducey, it's time to show up or get out. I'm going to take this up.
Any last questions before we go up to the executive tower?
Give us a few minutes to
Yeah, of course.
think we might want to come back
Someone have a pen?
I have a pen.
Juicy's like, kisses from March.
Do you want to get everyone to sign it first?
Yeah. While they're getting all set.
Are these like not real mics? They just put in there for like a shot. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, no, you.
You want to? It's too late now. I'll take it. When we get closer, we can.
So just the national group that